To the Spider Queen! We are in the next match. It's actually the losers match in Group A between the Space Goofs and RPD. So guys, whoever loses this best of 3 series is out of the tournament. So it's now or never. Only the top 2 teams out of each group advance. And here in Group A, both Space Goofs and RPD have already lost one match. Now, again, as I said before, we're now in the top 8. We have 2 groups with 4 teams each, and the top 2 out of each group make it into the final phase of the tournament of the Banshee Cup. And we also have now our twist. We introduced bounties, and I talked about those bounties already the other day, but just to show it again to all of you. So these are the bounties that we have in the Banshee Cup. And again, I'm going to go through rules real quickly. Each team has their own bounty board. So if one bounty gets completed, it cannot be completed again by the same team, but other teams can still do it unless they also have already completed that specific bounty. Teams can only complete a single bounty per match, and obviously, as you see here, you have to win your map once that you go for a gamble like this. Now, we had a couple of those already. We had a couple of failed attempts. We had the Bratwurst boys locking in their first bounty victory as they played a no healer composition, and we'll see if the Goofs are now trying to do something here against RPD or the other way around. But essentially, this is how the bounty system works. Every completed bounty gives you an additional $50. Keep in mind, though, that there's also actual prize money. That's 2,000 split between the top 4. So you can, as a team, just decide that you want to go for the win there. You want to go and make it, and you don't want to deal with these shenanigans. So it's all optional. But it's kind of funny and interesting. And we had a couple of really nice moves. We had Gazlo was tried, 3 support, Illidan, Vala. We had no support, or sorry, no healer. I need to make the distinction. In my head, it's kind of the same, but obviously there are certain heroes that are technically supports and are supporting things, but they're not healers, and the bounties are centered around healers. So yeah, I have to kind of put that out there. We get Vala, and well, it's going to be a wild game already from the get-go, because what we're seeing here is a Suljin play for RPD, which is not a bounty. Just saying, Suljin is not a bounty. And we have a Vala, which can be played with a double support, but can also be played just with a single healer. So, yeah. I mean, either way, Lirel banned out. Genji's gotten the axe, so has Blaze. I'm super interested to see how they're doing with Suljin now. And I find it amazing that we're getting him in game number 1 already. Now, my personal pick was that we're going to get most bounties in game number 2. I think that has been semi-true. Kind of. Brightwing gets banned. And yeah, let's have a little bit of a look at this. Either way, we have now the double pick for the blue team. They still have a couple of things that they can do, but obviously locking Diablo and Vala in. You could go for Diablo comp. Is it Diablo comp? Diablo comp is a bounty, right? Yeah, I think it's a bounty. I'm pretty sure it's a bounty. This is one of the bounties that I don't really think is gonna be completed, though. Well, Oriel and Imperius. Okay. Now, by the way, if a team tries to go for a certain bounty, let's say an alliance composition, and the opponent picks or bans some out, not our problem. Teams can screw each other over like that. We just give you options. What you do with that, or what your opponent does, not involved in this. So we now get Diablo, we get Vala, we have Imperius and Oriel. And there's Leo. Leo would have been one that they could use for this. So Leoric is picked away, Johanna is also gone. I guess they could still drop Sonya in if they want to do this. Triple frontline with Vala, that would definitely work. So they can still make some plays here. And let's see. Final pick. They go for Zul. Okay. The Space Goofs, ladies and gentlemen. We have some bounty plays. Tomb of the Spider Queen. The first map in the best of 3 series between RPD and the Space Goofs. Let's go. Space Goofs against Rospidol, everybody. We have on the left Play on Imperius, Dequaza on Zul, Dobby on Vala, Yazu is playing Oriel, and X-Ray is on Diablo. So a full Diablo composition for the Space Goofs, aiming for a bounty here. As on the right side of the map, we got Rospidol with Makotzel on Janna, Akunis on Leoric, Ziomek on Suljin, Balor on Anduin, and Bronek on Junkrat. Arrow build for Vala, by the way, not going into any kind of normal auto attack style Vala that you will see with the double support all that often, but a bit of a different style here. And arrow build can be really devastating, specifically when we have fights happening, let's say, on those turn-in points. Then it can, of course, be great. The farther away you are from minions, the better. Suljin, on the other hand, he doesn't care. Once that he gets his cleave together, he gets his level 7. We're gonna look at him and his baseline, because he's going to try to go to 15 as quickly as possible to get the extended range, and that will help him to also work on the remaining stacks that he needs to hit 30, where he will get the double swing on his axes. Oi, oi, oi. They nearly took Vala down here. That was nearly first blood in the game, so already good damage. It's a trap. Yeah, and it helps Suljin to stack, or it would have helped him to stack if Oriel didn't whip out the whip. But he still has a chance there. And X-Ray is just getting bullied. I mean, he is just getting ping-ponged around over here. So now we got 3 stacks already for Suljin. Vala has at least 2. She's going to pick that up a lot more after she has the repeating arrow. But yeah, stacks are going to be important. Zul is great for this map, obviously, because he can easily rotate between the lanes and then take the minions down. So it's something later on that he could do. His wave clear is just phenomenal and has been played a lot. They could have gone for Sonya as well, if they wanted to go for the full Diablo comp. And even Nazeebo was pointed out as an option. Maybe not quite what they're looking for with the triple front line, but technically is still a thing. Might be that initially they were hoping for Leoric, but he got, of course, taken away by Rospidol, so there's that. And by now, still waiting for kill number 1. Dobby, Yazu, all just sitting tight here for now. Rayquaza is already starting to move back over. And, well, let's see, can they get some hits in with this? I mean, I'm personally curious to see if they can go and take a couple of structures out. Just smooth the path for later when they're trying to get the web weavers in. You're obviously working as best as you can on those turn-ins, on the gems that you're trying to deliver here, and both of the teams are going to heavily focus on that whenever they get a chance there. So it will be interesting who can take some structures out, who can secure some of the gems, and is just getting overall an initial lead in this game, because there's plenty to do right now. And everybody is still waiting for First Blood also to kick in. Personally, I wish that we had some kind of advantage whenever you are getting First Blood for your team. But we're just leaning on the psychological factor that kicks in with it. So, yeah. But right now we haven't seen a whole lot of that yet. We still see that push in the middle, on the other hand, with a camp, and they try to go for Suljin, and he gets saved by Anduin first, but then it's a bit too much for him to handle after all. So Ziomek gets killed, good move, and that is the first time that the troll is down, so no more axe for just a few moments here. But the death timers are low, so he's back pretty quickly. Not really a huge deal or problem for them. Losing a few more, on the other hand, that could become tricky. And now that Leoric has decided that he's going to activate his trade, they might even lose another one. I mean, the attack is coming, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, try to take as many of these camps out as you possibly can. That's essentially the goal here. I mean, camps have already been taken, they're waiting for the reset, but they are still getting the turn in over here. So that's the first 14, 32 that they still have, 48 delivered by their opponents. A bit dicey, like the only 2 are missing, but the blue team might actually be the first one to get their web weavers. They're currently controlling the turn-in spot, and who knows, if they have a chance to make this work, they have the gem count, but they have to turn everything that they currently hold in order to make that happen. And that might be a little bit of a stretch. So 2-0, the kill count that they were able to get. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer on this. 2 gems, Leo! Yeah, that's my boy. Leo turning in, helping them out to get stuff done. So nice. First web weaver wave for the team now. And with that, they could also, in the middle, do tons of work. Vala has 10 stacks. We have, for Suljin, Arcanite access with 3, but he's not even completed the first objective for his baseline stacking quest. So he's not sitting at 15 where he gets the range increase. So it will be a slow game for him. There weren't just too many fights where you really had a good chance on that. I mean, there's a couple of slows for them. If they can move in against Diablo, for example, then hey, great. But time will tell. They break through the wall here. Imperius is already defeating everything in the middle of the map. The fort is taking still some damage though in the middle. So it's not like he was able to completely save it. X-Ray, Suljin is getting his stacks together now. So he's sitting at 12. And they're still trying to also stack him up on level 7. It's all about the late game damage for him. If he can get into a decent late game, then great. And so far he hasn't had any amazing stacks. I mean, Vala and Suljin are currently on the same amount of stacks, but his axes that he's throwing out right now, they are at least hitting a lot of targets. Would be even better if he already had the 30, but still. When it comes to damage, I suppose, yeah, Vala is... No, actually Vala is behind. She's at 13,000. 15,000 for Suljin, 17,000 for Junkrat. They still control the middle, and they have a lot of gems that they could safeguard. Whereas the blue team is trying to somehow get into a good spot so that they can get their own web weavers. Now, the first objective hasn't really done a whole lot for us at all. Well, it's maybe not quite fair. They've done some damage. They took some of these gates down. They've damaged some of the forts too. Specifically, the one in the middle has suffered way more than I initially expected. But, yeah... Suljin still trying to stack. He needs 3 more. 3 more and at least he has a range increase. Once that's a thing, it's easier for him to get to the next 15. And now he has also level 16. We should get, and we do get Tazdingo. So it's not memeing around too hard here. Whereas for the opponent we have Chrysalis, we get the Lightning Breath, and finally also some Web Weavers for them as well. There's the Entomb, and that's amazing. Suljin can use that right away to get some stacks in. Gets attacked though. Leo dies. Suljin, yes, he dies too. 14 stacks, not able to complete it. So 2 heroes down on the red team side. They lose Imperius, but at least they're picking up most of the gems. Now, Dobby is also a bit low with Vala. That should be a good sign to be more cautious. But they are still doing work here. And it's a 3 versus 4 essentially after all. So you can still do damage with those Web Weavers, and that has to be the goal. Trying to at least draw even with the opponent's team, if they can. And all the way up at the top, we now have the push coming in for the final, for the wall. This is the final one. I think that's the standing down here. It's already falling apart. 4 kills to 1. 16 stacks now for Suljin, so yes, he has the range increase. That's going to make things easier for him. And to be honest, his level 7 isn't that bad yet either. Considering that he doesn't have a double swing, 19, that's fine. But he's still far behind Junkrat and also behind Vala right now. Which might change. Talking about Vala, she's getting attacked here, running out of mana too. The Quasar, and that's a kill. I don't care about Aegis or no Aegis, but he's not going to survive that. So goodbye, Azul. And they want Vala. Nice light bomb, and they get Vala. And it allows Suljin to stack, 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 which is exactly what they're looking for. 19 stacks now to 21. Vala's also at 19. It's kind of funny how the two of them are on the same stacks pretty much throughout the entire early game. Let's see how far they can go. Kun is already starting to move in. Bronek, yeah, finishes the turn in. They're only 10 shy, and they're gonna get it. So this is another Web Weaver wave with Suljin getting the camp at the bottom of the map. So now they have Web Weavers, they have Siege Giants, and they are locking in a level 13 talent advantage any moment now. So pretty decent move. Again, for the Space Goofs, it's not only about the win, it's also about the bounty. They want to have the bounty as well. But they go up against Spectral Leech now, against Ensnare. We get the Lion Speed boots. And with Ensnare, it's all about the stacks. It's all about the dings. So get a good Ensnare out against Diablo, for example, and all of a sudden you're gonna get your hits in for sure. Specifically when you're getting the support from the rest of the team, and I'm looking at Anduin in particular. So Fort in the middle is already gone. Fort at the top is about to get attacked. Everybody is defending bot side because those Siege Giants add more danger onto the lane. That allows still Junkrat to push a bit against Zul at the top. And they are getting both forts. So 2 forts are destroyed. The only one that's still standing is at the bottom of the map. Okay, Junkrat, he's still fine. Sul'jin hasn't gotten a lot in the last one. He's at 21 stacks now. Okay, and yeah. Get the hits in. Take that one on. Akunis is now also falling back. So for the red team, this is a pretty big W. All forts gone. Every single one destroyed. Second turn in. That's solid. If the blue team turns in 2, they definitely have a chance to do the same thing and draw even with them. They have the gems. Funnily enough, RPD has nearly enough gems for another turn in 2. So yes, they are doing a good job removing gems from the opponent's team. Look at X-Ray, by the way. X-Ray is at 48 gems. Just he alone. And he's Diablo. He's the main tank. He wants to engage, but he can't really do a whole lot if he's in that position. So there's a snare, and they go for dibbles, and he's dead. Gems on the ground. They're trying to recover. Big Entomb! Big Entomb! And the Riptire. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That was sick city right there. The gems on the ground, they get baited, and then they get murdered. That was awesome. Check this out. Gems are there. There's the Entomb. He hits 3. Riptire comes in. Blessed Shield. They're getting everything unleashed on them. And that was massive. So, yeah. Big, big play. Love it. Absolutely love it. 4 kills to 6. 16 to 15. They got the extra talent. They have 25 stacks for Sul'jin, so he's getting super close to the double swing, which is going to help him with his level 7, and his damage output is going to reflect that. And Vala, she has been shut down a bit. She's still top damage in the game, but still, stacking has been slowed down for sure. So, whew. Blue team, they have a solid comp, and they're going for a bounty too. But I'm not sure if they can pull this off here. They are certainly trying. I mean, they're certainly trying to do it. But it is not ideal. They're definitely in some trouble here. The attacks, they keep coming. And... oh, the save. Sul'jin with the ult. Where's the heal? Riptire, and he gets zipped out. They still want him, but they can't get him. They cannot take Sul'jin down. They got so close multiple times now, but they're just not able to drop him. Which is fantastic, of course, for RPD. I mean, RPD is now in a situation where they have Web Weavers again. They denied them to the opponent. They got the boss, which Vala is now, which was already taken care of. We have at the same time the objective taken apart. But yeah, they're pinned down. They're absolutely pinned down. They're in this real awkward spot right now where it's so tricky for them to do anything here. And the attacks, they just keep coming time and time again. So yeah, good luck dealing with that. I mean, as is, we have 6 kills to 4. Web Weavers are still doing damage, specifically at the bottom of the map, as they're going for the keep here. And in the middle, they're attacking with the rest of them. Sul'jin's at 30 stacks. There's the double swing now. There's the light bomb. Bye-bye Diablo. He's gone. They try with another Entomb. Vala is trapped and gets away. Close call, but she gets away. And Sul'jin, I mean, he should be top damage now, right? Yeah, he is. 51,000. 51,000 for Sul'jin, 48,000 for Vala. Which is still very respectable. The arrow build for her is still doing lots and lots of damage. But they are just not able to break through this right now. So. And Sul'jin is going... I mean, to be fair, Vala is also going to get worse. I was about to say Sul'jin is going to stack more. And it's true. He's going to get more and more dangerous. But so is Vala. I mean, Vala has actually gone into Seething Hatred. So, Seething Hatred for Vala for the added damage increase. And once that they're on level 20, Vala is going to get Acrobat. More arrows, more damage, more mobility. So, it all depends on the stacks now. Yeah, Vala already working on the next one. Arrow after arrow is getting connected here. Sul'jin with the auto attacks, gets focused. They're still pushing play back. And Aegis, he's dead. Mace to the face. Leo is swinging for the fences. And they get that hit. Diablo was trying to recover some of the gems at least. They got the numbers. They can turn in. They're 2 turn-ins behind, but they still have at least 1. And then the Entomb gets dropped again. The Light Bomb follow-up, and bam! Easy kill. Easy kill, and now Vala is dead too. That's 3 heroes removed, 4 heroes removed. Quasar with 47 gems. He can't hold this too long either. So they go for the bottom keep, and they might even go for more. Suljin is now at 46 stacks on the baseline, 50 stacks on his level 7. And his damage output is bananas currently. 62,000 damage for Suljin. He's absolutely spiraled out of control here. And they're going for the core, and I don't see anybody stopping them. This is going to be it. With level 20 talents in their hands, Rospierdol wins map number 1 against the Space Goofs. The bounty has been shut down. Not successful for the blue team. But Rospierdol takes the lead in this best of 3 series. Nicely done. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Battlefield of Eternity, second map, and the Space Goofs were defeated on the first one. So was their attempt to complete the Diablo team bounty. So bounties are still up, all of them. Rospierdol actually was looking more for the win than anything else. And, well, again, quick look at the bounties, just so that you're in the know of what exactly is available before we are heading into the draft. So I'm going to let this run through the bans here. There's a couple of them that are definitely easier than others. And as I said, we're collecting data, of course, too, how the players react to the system, how the audience likes it. I love that we have a lot of picks already happening. I gotta admit that I didn't think that teams would go for bounty attempts in every single series, because I thought, okay, they're going to just reserve it for certain matches that they're playing, and maybe it's going to change, but at least right now, multiple teams were trying to pull it off, and the Diablo comp, it kind of failed on the last one, but I can appreciate the attempt for sure. So, as we're heading into Battlefield of Eternity, we're of course going to keep a bit of an eye on potential picks that could be used. And it was here that Rospierdol tried earlier against a much stronger team than the Space Goofs, against the Bratwurst boys, to play Gazlowe. Now, if they trained with Gazlowe on Battlefield of Eternity, or they think that they can be an asset here, this would probably be the time to really try it, because now you are 1 map ahead. So if you lose, you still have a chance to at least win the series, right? You can go into game number 3, can win the series, move on to the next one. And also, this is an easier opponent, just objectively speaking, than the Bratwurst boys. AKA, might not have worked against the top dog in the game, but could work against somebody that's a little bit closer to your own level. Time will tell. I mean, we'll see. Hanzo is chosen as a first pick. Of course, Space Goofs went first pick, first ban. Also, the same rule that we had in all the qualifier games still applies. We have still, you can only play hero once within a series. Now, also, quick reminder, all of the qualifier games, if you're watching this, are on the channel. So there's a special playlist for all of the qualifier games. We had 6 qualifiers in total. And let me tell you, we had amazing games. I mean, we had Butcher games. I think we had multiple Butcher games. Cho'Gall games. It was glorious. It was absolutely glorious. If I'm not mistaken, I believe in qualifier number 1 or number 2, we also had a Murky. We had definitely several Probius plays. So if you have skipped out on some of these games, I would recommend that at least from every single one of the qualifiers, you're watching the grand final. Those were pretty cool, and some really nice twists there as well. But again, you can find the playlist on the YouTube channel, so check it out. Hanzo, Malfurion, and Tyrael. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the Space Goofs are trying to complete anything, unless they're going for a quick pick into a specific hero. That's of course still a possibility, that they're just like choosing one key hero and trying to complete that bounty. But given the situation they're in, I personally would be very interested in at least winning the map first. Hey, Rel gets banned on the side lane. And Blaze all been taken, so you can't go for the double layer of defense here with Sanctification and Bunker, so that's not a thing. But yeah. It would be kind of funny if they banned Gazlowe now. Just imagine that for a second. You've seen your opponent play one of those key heroes once and trying to complete a bounty, and you're like, do we want to go up against this? Is this something we're okay with? And it's just like, nah, and you just ban it out. Well, Liming. Okay. It would have been fun if it was Gaslow. I don't think so. They're probably happy if their opponent tries to do this. There's a reason why we put bounties on these things, right? Because normally it doesn't happen. It's not a pick that you would go for because you think like, hey, this fits amazingly here. Like, this is our best chance of winning the game. No, we're incentivizing players playing something which gives them a bit of a handicap. Plain and simple. Fun to watch, and they have to decide whether they're okay with it or if they're just saying, okay, this is getting silly. We need to be careful that we don't drop out of the tournament here. Rospidol is in the lead. They could try it. They have now Muradin and Blazed, which means they already have a side laner. So it's highly unlikely currently. But yeah, the final two picks for Dequaza and for X-Ray. Malthael and... what's there next to the Angel of Death? Tracer. Okay, standard comp, normal. Nothing crazy. No bounties. And Rospidol, so far it doesn't look like it. It does not look like they will try that either just yet. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Bronick is now going to unleash the Butcher. Get in some meat. But I would be more than a little bit shocked to see that happen. They go for Valera? Okay, this is one of the bounties where I personally thought nobody would try to complete that. Valera, just to put context on this, has not been played in Meta Madness. This is how shit the hero is, or how bad the teams perceive the hero to be. Even with, what was it, 66 heroes banned maximum, nobody played Valera. So that they're actually trying it here? Alright, let's go. Game number 2, Valera's in the house. Valera is in the house, Rospidol is in the lead, and they decided to bust her out. Now, she has some pretty sweet moves, but again, this hero was not even played in Meta Madness, which is bonkers. Now, we got Play on Tyrael for the blue team. Dobby on Tracer, he's the one who has to stay away from her. Dequaza on Malthael, Yasuo on Hanzo, and X-Ray on Malfurion. On the right side of the map, Makotzel with Muradin. For Rospidol, we got Bronick on Sylvanas, the Polish team with Barlow on Lucio, Ziomek on Valera, and Akunis is playing Blaze. Let the games begin. Okay. What can Valera pull off here? Level 1, we got the Crippling Poison. And down at the bottom of the map, we got Play, Yasuo, and X-Ray. Yeah, I don't know, like, I personally was not really happy when they gutted the stealth heroes so hard. They're now so much more visible than they were in the past. And there was always the argument that just on the lower level, when you have heroes that are just nearly fully invisible and are super hard to detect, that it's a problem. It's hard, it's difficult. If it was a different MOBA where you had, you know, items that you can use, then you could have played way more around something like Sentry Wards. Goodbye, Muradin. Nice knowing you. It's a little bit difficult in the system that Heroes of the Storm uses, but I would have loved if they had a different solution for it, because it just feels that, generally speaking, it's so much... like, all these heroes that were so strong just lost so much and became nearly overnight absolutely unplayable. The one exception was Zeratul. Zeratul, with all of the mobility that he had, and all of the moves that he could pull off, he was still someone that we saw a lot, and for good reason. But looking at Valera, looking at Nova, stuff like that, they just lost a ton and just overnight became the nerf was huge. It was crazy. So I would have looked for a different solution there, but it's obviously fairly tricky. And I always say that you should balance the game around the top players, which I still totally stand for. I think it's absolutely silly to balance games around newbies. You teach newbies how to play the game, and you balance the game around maybe not the top 1%, but around the top, I don't know what, but the higher level. That's what you're doing. And then you teach lower level players on how to play and how to counterplay. That's basically what your goal should be. In the case of the stealthies, I might make an exception on the rule, because it was, you could farm people pretty hard. Especially newbies that didn't know how to spot anything. So yeah, it's a bit crazy. Then again, you also have something like, or you had back in the day. It's been nearly 10 years since I played the game. But in Dota 2, you have Riki, and so at some point you need to learn how to deal with Riki as well. Or back then, when you could just like farm noobs all day, every day with him. But that's of course where observer boards came then into play, and that is something that Heroes just doesn't have. You have certain heroes that you can use for that, but it's not like every hero that you can play can just buy that item. So, yeah. Still, again, it's a bit of a back and forth. I suppose there's good arguments against and for it. 1 kill is all that we got so far. Murdering got murdered. We have Valera now with Relentless Strikes on level 4. We have also at the top... oh, Blaze getting it. Oh no, Valera is also dead. Valera gets deaded. Makotzel is the only survivor and is actually able to get out. Please stun him and kill him. Don't even have to. Oh, this would have been so much better if he at least was able to take a kill and then dies himself. But yeah, no chance. So with that, we now have 3 kills to 1. Good lead for the Space Goofs. And Valera hasn't really added a lot yet. She might, but yeah. Now there's also the Sylvanas factor, which we haven't really talked about. But if you're getting any kind of plays here, then you can use good old Sylvanas with an Immortal to very quickly take control again. Tyrael killed once again, so that's actually not too bad. He's trying to catch up with Lucio and can't. So, not too bad. I actually like the way that they're currently doing this. Really nice moves being made. And now they go for... no! Blaze! He survived way more than I thought he would. Way longer. Blue team is not giving this up the way that I expected to after Tyrael fell. They are fighting tooth and nail here in order to get that objective. And it seems more and more likely that they're going to walk away with a massive shield for the first Immortal. That's big. That's actually really, really big. And Valera gets killed again. Might I just mention that there is a reason why a lot of these... why Valera is usually not a pick. And it might hurt, but the reason is pretty simple. Valera sucks. She just sucks. It's the unfortunate truth. Honestly, I would love if it was different, but it just isn't. So yeah. Either way, by now she hasn't added a whole lot for the team. So we'll have to see if they can do more with her in the late game and finally pick some kills up. But currently she is struggling. And she's dead again. So yeah, Valera, every time she tries to make an engage here and try to use her tools to maybe, you know, like lock Tracer down, apply that silence, she is in trouble. So it's essentially a 4 versus 5 right now. But yeah, so with all of that, we now have already down at the bottom of the map, Blaze pushing this out a little bit further. Swift Retribution is in. They're still trying to hammer that away. Yeah, Kunis is able to get out. But it's 6 kills to 2, a 1 level lead, and the top side, I mean, guys, we're talking about the first Immortal, and they're taking keep damage. We're 5 minutes in, they're taking keep damage is where we're at. So, yeah. Kinda bonkers. So, yeah. What amuses me, by the way, all the time when we're talking about some of these heroes that we literally have to incentivize people with money in order to play them, is how many people come out. Well, actually, this hero is really good against like X, Y, and Z. If you tie the opponent's hands behind their back, and like if you close one eye and then you just look in the sun for like 5 minutes and then try to play against her, then you can actually it's like the amount of excuses that I've seen now for some of the shitty heroes is absolutely hilarious. I mean, we're literally incentivizing people with money to play some of these guys. That is literally what's happening. And they're still losing with them. Or don't pick them, so yeah. But yeah, it's kind of amusing. I always feel I have to tell people, like, guys, if you want to play a shitty hero in a quick match on Storm League, there's nothing wrong with that. You can have some fun. We're talking tournaments here. We're talking value of heroes in tournaments. That's what we're talking about. So if you enjoy playing a hero, just even if it's only for the lore, that's okay. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with you. Tim would say you're a beautiful soul and you deserve all the happiness in the world. I'm not Tim, so I'm just going to tell you, hey, get good and start playing heroes that are actually not garbage. 6 kills to 2, 1 level ahead, and yeah, in terms of talents, we're now getting the Cloak of Shadows over here. And yeah, well, they are trying for the second objective. Maybe now, Valera? I mean, at least this time she survived. That's something. That's a good start. Oh boy, the damage! And there is the kill. The double kill. Guess who's dead again? It's Valera and Sylvanas. So they're chasing the rest of the team too. They're just running. They're just running, trying to at least save a few of their players. Which they just can't. So bye-bye, Blaze. He's gone too. That leaves us with Lucio. Lucio only escaped because he runs faster than everybody else. So that's the only reason he got away here. But yeah, it's 10 kills to 2, and just look how they are murdering this. This is getting ridiculous. We're now 8 minutes in. The top keep is down to 50% of its HP. Both of the forts are gone on the side of Rospierdol, and the bottom wall has now been opened up too. So Valera is jumping in again, unleashes everything she has, and then finds herself surrounded by her opponent. He's like, ah, help! I was trying to get out. So yeah. Tyrael died twice to activate his trait, I suppose. Another stun, and do we get a happy moment here? No, not really. Nope, the attacks, they keep coming. And they're in trouble. Quasar. I mean, they're down a talent again. That doesn't help. Catapults are pushing. That doesn't help either. And you're now up against 100% shield on the Immortal. Okay, to all the nitpickers out there, what is this? 95%? Well, actually, it's 94. Okay, so bot lane. Oh, this is gonna hurt so much. Oh my god. Space Goofs. I wish, I would love for Valera to pop off, come in, and just crush everything in her side. The arrow connects. Come on, girl. Make it happen. Make the play. Make the big play that brings them back. They take Tracer down. There we go. Tranquility is in. Can they save that keep? Last rights. Oh, and Valera survives. So far, not a single last right stack for Malthael. He wasn't able to get a single kill with it in the allotted time frame. 32,000, but yep, the keep's gone. Even with a kill, the keep is just gone. So we have 30,000 damage for Sylvanas. Valera is at 40,000 damage. And I guess the core is gonna take some damage too? Maybe not. Still early. Maybe? Does he get another hit after this? Ah, no. That was way too much of a wind-up. Okay, so 100% on the core, 2-level advantage, 10 kills, 2-3. So they got at least one. And yeah. Poor Valera. I would like to say that she doesn't deserve all that shade that we're throwing here. But then again, she does, so yeah. Maybe not her, but definitely whoever balanced her in the last patch. Let's put it like that. Come on, you can do it, Zimmermech. I'm not even blaming you, Zimmermech. You're just doing what you can with that hero, but like, pop off. Show us how it's done. Kill something. Bring Valera back into the meta. That would be the dream, you know? Just incentivizing people to play a hero, and then at some point they're figuring out, you know what? That's actually not bad. Like, maybe we can make this work. That would be the dream. And it has sometimes happened in the past. I just do not think that it's gonna happen with her. There's a couple of heroes where I really expected teams to make more of a play with it. For example, I think there's still a lot of macro games that you can play with Asmodan Demonic Invasion, where you could play that. You can just try and snipe opponent structures and win the game that way. I'm not saying it's the strongest out of all the bounties, but I thought that's something that we're going to see before we're seeing Valera. And I still want to know what's happening once that we see some of the sweets coming in, if they can drop Murky into the mix. I mean, we've seen a couple of games with, you know, Murky and Phoenix, Planet Cracker. Just go full laser and take the target down. So yeah, maybe that Octograb combo is something that eventually is going to be played. And obviously, I think Cho'Gall is a given that we're going to see him at some point. We've seen him so many times in the qualifiers. Oh, that's a kill, and that's a stack. Nice. First one. Last rights connects. Blaze is dead. And they're going for the rest of the team. And they're getting only... No, they're getting Lucio, and they're getting Murden. So, 2 are down. Quasar still on the wrong side of the wall. Not that it matters too much. And it seems like they're going to try and go for maybe core. Hanzo is moving back, so he wants to still go for the objective just to be on the safe side. They are trying to farm a little bit on the other hand. And they get another kill as they drop Sylvanas. So the team is going for the core, whereas Hanzo just said like, I think it's better if I go for the objective. even if we lose anything. And now that Hanzo realizes they were able to get Sylvanas, they're like, okay, maybe I should join the fun while I still can. So he comes in, they're trying to go for the core, it's already down to 50%, and it seems that we're going to map number 3 with this. Yeah, we're going the distance, everybody. The objective, the bounty, it fails again. Space Goofs tie against RPD as we move to the final map of this series. Cursed Hollow! The series is tight, and so far it seems that going for bounty is directly correlated with losing a game. So, up to now, how many bounties did we have? I think we had like 5 bounty attempts and only 1 was successful, and that was the Bratwurst boys. So yeah, that was the only one. Funnily enough, it was also the only map where both teams tried to go for the bounty at the same time. So no matter who won that map, it would have been a bounty completion. Maybe we should put... I mean, I don't know. Again, as I said before, like, we're always thinking a bit about, okay, how can we, you know, adjust the format? What can we do? Like, what's happening? And you could do something where you just say, like, only in the first map of a series can you try and complete a bounty. You take a little bit of the surprise away if it happens in game number 2 or game number 3. But then you would have bounty against bounty. Nah, it's probably silly. That doesn't really give you an advantage. It forces it actually limits options for teams instead of adding them. So I'm kind of against them. Abathur being locked in as a first pick. We might see Monty. We might see the Monstrosity. That's a bounty. And it has already been attempted by one team. Has been played by Yazu earlier. And Yazu is playing in this game. So I would love nothing more but Zeomech actually playing the Monstrosity and showing Yazu how it's done. Because the only thing that I can really say here for Yazu is that he does not know how to play with a Monstrosity. I mean, even if you argue that it's just better to just drop Monstrosity and then focus on the team fights and Symbiote, there were so many opportunities where he had plenty of time to save his Monstrosity and just move it back a little bit to get more value while nothing else was going on the map. It just felt like he's not really someone that played a lot with that style. Which is fine. It's not like it's the best choice for him anyways. But, yeah. It's kind of funny. So, Vikings are banned. So is the Haka. So they're locking out the globals. Most of them, at least. Abathur is in. We have Falstad. Yeah, Nubrug with this too, so you can play disengage a bit. And with Abathur, is it a copy? Banning out Illidan. Just simply saying, you know what, boys? If you have Abathur already, we don't want you to have Illidan on top of that too. If you want to go for a melee assassin, this is the moment where you unleash a Varian side lane with meme blades. This could be it. Or it could be the Monstrosity. Or they could just be like, you know what, we kind of want to win this map, so how about we don't go for a bounty? Because again, we are in a group phase right now, so we do the GSL system in case that you're not aware. So essentially, you have Team A play versus Team B and C versus D. The winners play against each other, the losers play against each other, and then there's a consolation match. And that sets your group up, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are already in the losers match here, which means that whoever loses this map is out of the tournament. So, yeah. Cassia and ETC. Yeah, quick move right there from ETC with the power slide. Not all that much follow-up. It's not like we're having a Tyrande in the game or anything. But ETC could go stage dive. But they have Sonya only if they go triple frontline. Yeah, questionable. Okay, final picks for RPD, for the Polish team. Samuro, Abathur Samuro, and we have Brightwing. Nice. Okay, so. Well, with that, what are we getting? Our final pick for the third map and the final map in this best of 3 series. What's it gonna be? Come on, boys. Yeah, Dobby. It's Maiev. Alright. Alright, guys. Let's go. Let's see what they can do with this. Cursed Hollow is the map, and we're heading straight into game number 3. Let's see who takes the W.
Prepare yourself for
Space Goofs against Rospiedol. Game number 3. On the left, Play with ATC, X-Ray with Rhaegar. We got Yasuo and Cassian, Dobby on Maiev, and Sonya is playing Quasar. So, as is, we have no bounty attempt for the blue team, but there could still be one for their opponents, for Rospiedol. Over on the right side, Balor with Brightwing. We have Makotzel on a Nubarak, Ziomek and an Abathur. We're going to watch out for his level 10 pick. Arkunis on Samuro. And Bronek is playing Falstad. So, let's see. Time will tell. A, are we getting a bounty for this game? And B, who moves on to the next round? And who drops out of the tournament? Essentially, 7th, 8th place if you lose here. 7th, 8th, obviously, because we still have Group B. We're not playing out all of the... Ooh. He's getting value. Damn, half of the tower already gone. So, not bad. Down to the bottom of the map. ETC! But this time he actually survives. For now. Get that slide in. Get the action going. And, well, let's see how much damage they can do here. It's party time! So, prime time, party time, baby! The Nubarak, there's a slide, but you still have Abathur. And this Abathur Samuro comp has just become more and more popular, and for good reason. I actually love that it's being played. And I've been telling you guys for months now. I mean, not joking. Every time we saw a Samuro, I said over and over again, I really want to see Abathur and Samuro again. I want to see them just go for structures. I want to see this as a thing. I always brought in the story from HGC. And now we're getting exactly that. I mean, again, I've been calling for this for months. And now if you think about the last, I want to say like 2 weeks, maybe 3 even, we have first and foremost the Bratwurst boys picking it over and over again and wreaking havoc with it. Now other teams are picking it up. It's just like generally Abathur Samuro can be so annoying. It doesn't mean it's the best comp in the entire world, but given that so much Samuro is played in the last few months, it just stands to reason that every now and then when you are going to add Abathur into the mix, you can really try and outperform against an opponent where you control the macro game, where you have a big map and you can just play this perfectly. And that's kind of what they're doing here. So, there it is. Anyways, Quasar up at the top. And I suppose, yeah, he's not going to make it. Abathur with another Needle Spine or Samuro. They're going to take the kill. So that's gone. Level 4 talents are kicking in. They're starting things on with One with the Wind and Way of the Wind. Again, I have no idea on which hero Blizzard's devs were like higher on the legal substances in California, because there's so many fart jokes here, it's kind of crazy. Way of the Wind, One with the Wind, I mean all of these, like, seriously, like all of the talents for Samuro, and then you have, of course, Kira with the Silent Killer, which is probably my favorite. I mean, yeah. That there's no dog fart jokes is really all. I mean, to be fair, Silent Killer could also talk about a dog, and we all know those are the worst. I mean, if you think that a normal Silent Killer is already rough, if you have a dog in the room, and then, yeah, you know, like, dog owners know what I'm talking about. We don't have a dog anymore, and that might be one of the reasons. So, yeah. But when I was a kid, we definitely had dogs. So, yeah, that's the thing. Anyways. That is an awkward moment to pause the game. I mean, yeah. Quasar is down at the bottom of the map, so I assume somebody else had a problem and told him to pause. But yeah, that's awkward, because now what happens? I actually don't know if Play on ETC still has a power slide. If he has a power slide, this is an invitation. I mean, it really is. But Arkunis is trying to take X-Ray down and might be able to do that. It's dangerous. I mean, Dobby is in trouble, X-Ray is in trouble, so they have multiple heroes now that could fall, and Maiev does. Maiev does, Arkunis might too. Yes, and he goes down as well. So that's a 1 for... Ooh, a 1 for 2 even. Rhaegar's hungry, goes for the chicken and takes a bite. And with Brightwing gone, that turned quickly against Rospiedol. Yeah, they just lost 3 heroes. They went for a great fight, thought they could get something done, and then they lost multiple heroes within a second. So that's a bit unfortunate. That gives your opponent a leading experience. We're now level 7 against a... Oh, careful. Careful, Abby. Dequaza nearly got an Abathur kill, just hammering at the wall. Oh. Yeah, it's a little bit awkward. I mean, they had a great position to get a kill on Maiev and maybe even Rhaegar, and then they don't get it, and all of a sudden they lose 3. So that makes this a very unfortunate encounter. 3 kills to 2, Mule at least available, and it helps them probably to save the fort in the middle, at least if they can keep the opponent away from it, because right now it seems like it might fall regardless. Yeah, Falset is finally in. Okay, they're pushing it on ETC. ETC low. Dobby also stunned out. They just have to keep them away here. But the Mule got taken out. That's the bad news. Mule was eliminated, so now they have to wait for the full cooldown again until they can potentially bring that fort back to full HP. If they can do that or not, that's a whole different story. But at least buying a little bit of time should be possible for them. And level 10 is soon going to be here as well. And then we're going to finally find out whether or not Abathur wants to go for the copy. But what do you copy? I mean, you can only copy Samuro, essentially. It's the only one. And again, copying Samuro is great if your goal is to just take structures down and play macro. But are they trying for the bounty? Yes or no? Well, for now, they're trying to go for kills. But Bitewing is gone, the fort is gone, and Uberak... Yes, Anubarak is dead, and so is Falstad. Oh boy, the Space Goofs, they might have had some problems in game number 1, but they are really, really stepping it up now, aren't they? Down at the bottom of the map, Abathur helping out with Symbiote trying to take the Quaza out, but Akunis can't make that work. Now we get Bloodlust even. Okay, Bloodlust as the next tool for them. This just got interesting. Bloodlust against Falstad with Gust. I mean, this depends a little bit on how Falstad plays it later, but that can become pretty useless. So, interesting choice. Oh, one more shot and he will be gone. They're trying to take another fort down. I don't think it's gonna help, but look at the gap in experience. This is the biggest problem that they currently have. But Sonya gets killed at the bottom. 10 or no 10, doesn't matter. Sonya gets murdered, so bye-bye. Still fairly interesting to see this big of an experience gap given the situation that they are currently in now. But yeah, the next attack is coming. They're pushing in. Abathur goes for the copy. They want to cheese with Samuro. There's no bounty attempts in this game. We're gonna see Abathur and Samuro just work in tandem to take structures down. And again, with Gust, I am still very, very certain that we're gonna see a lot of disengage plays by Falstad whenever Bloodlust gets used. I mean, this is essentially the only thing that you can really do there. What else are you gonna play? So he has to try and keep it in play for as long as possible whenever we have a situation like this. Wait for Bloodlust, use it, and yeah, just do your thing. Teams have started to settle on, alright, we want to win this one. We don't want to drop out of the tournament here. We need to play without a handicap. Just make sure that you have a chance to bring this one back. This is the only thing that really matters. And with each team having one tribute already, here's the next play. And, oh, that's a kill. Rhaegar, gone. Gone. They're trying for Maiev. And maybe even for ETC there, but they zone them all away from the tribute. So there's a chance to try and take it. So once again, 17,000 damage for Falstad, 16,000 for Samuro, and 23,000 for Cassia. Sonya's pushing the top. They're interrupting again. Yeah, there's the stun, lining them up, gusting them away, and that's a bit tricky. Because that timing just didn't work out. And there's another interrupt against Bala. They're not getting that tribute. At least not that easily. ETC is also not getting anybody to dance with him. He zones Samuro away for a moment, but that's it. Abathur could help out. Sonya is, by the way, not even in the fight. Sonya is the entire time at the top and pushing for the keep. So this is insane. I mean, for Rospidol, this is shitty. This is happening while they are fighting for the tribute. The opponent was a hero down, and they're still not able to take the tribute. They lost it. They lost the tribute. They get another kill. They take ATC down this time, so it's 5 kills to 5. But we have a level advantage, talent advantage. They were not able to get the tribute. Now they are in danger of losing Anubarak, who barely has enough mana left to get out of the fight. Together with Brightwing, who gets caught, but also pushed into a wall, has enough for a blink heal, and is able to escape. It is a weird game for Rospidol now. The good news is Siege Giants at the bot lane. Now, does that take the entire fort out? Probably not. But they can at least get some damage done. So, yeah. Kinda awkward. 2 forts lost. Not getting that tribute is bad news. And if you now look at the spawn for the next one, it's actually at the top left. So it's another tribute that is in a pretty decent position for the blue team. And if they get it, if they get that tribute, then what that means is you're gonna be cursed. So they have to fight for this. They can't just simply sit here and do nothing. They have to really fight for this one. Try and lock that in. There's already Rayquaza with the first interrupt. Boss is taken and is moving through the bot lane. So a good move from the Space Goofs. I really like how they're approaching the macro in the game now as well. Attacks are in. Ah, they go for Samuro. That would have been an awesome kill if they got him here. But he's still alive. Cocoon is out. Boss is starting to do damage down at the bottom of the map. Sonya is also taking care of some of the lanes. Bloodlust! Where's that Gust? It's too late. Gust gets still used, but the kill has happened. So with Bloodlust, they were able to take down Samuro. Now Falstad is at least getting attacked. Yeah, they might even get a kill here. There's the curse. Bot lane is going to suffer the most with the boss in play. And now that they're going for Bronek, the birdie is dead as well. Falstad is gone. The boss moves through the bottom. Brightwing is lost. And Anubarak is about to die too. Play with... like, I think he just went for his mosh because he expected Anubarak to dive. I really think that's what happened there. He expected Anubarak to dive in and wanted to, you know, make the Giga play. Make a play where he essentially just like shuts his opponent down, and they're clearly trying to go for game here. They have level 16. The death timers are super low, so I think this is a bit ambitious if they're really trying to do that. I don't think they can. I mean, I might be wrong here, but boy, that's quite the risk. Now Samuro is dead. That's good news, and yeah, they're gonna pull it off, I suppose. But it is a risk, because if you fail, then Abathar is just going to mule it up. So yeah, they're gonna get it here. The boss is still on half HP, and Samuro is dead. Nicely done. The Space Goofs, ladies and gentlemen. They're moving on to the next round of the tournament. They are moving on to the next match, and Rospierdol is out of the Banshee Cup. GG.